everyone. Sorry about the late logging in here. Can everybody hear me? I'm at an airport. Wasn't quite sure of my internet, and we're actually running a little bit behind. So, Louise, I am going to reach out. I didn't know John wasn't going to be on, so I'm going to make you co-host, if that's all right.
Sure.
And you may have to help me because I can't be on the whole time. So, actually, I'm going to make you host. You or be the boss. So go ahead and get your hands up. It is Friday. And although I won't be able to be with you, John may be on. And if he's not, Louise knows how to do everything and probably a whole lot better. So one more second here. Host. You are now the host, Louise. So if I hang up, you're probably in charge. So we're Susan. First one up. Congratulations. So I imagine this is going to be an outbound call.
No, actually. So maybe you can help me as far as how to handle the situation. I have a duplex in California that I'm selling for my client. And the tenant wants out of the lease. So she's making all the excuses of how they can leave. It's okay. I told my seller it's great because we have rent stabilized rules, and a whole lot of the problem is if you have tenant, it's hard to evict them. So if they're able to vacate, what is the best thing? Because we want them to vacate, but we also don't want to lose money if there's going to be a time period. So we say you can vacate, let's say 3 months later or 2 months later, or when it closes. I mean, what would you guys do in this situation?
Well, this is kind of a situational thing, not necessarily a role play. So we can strategize. Anyone who does any property management, feel free to raise your hand and comment. I guess the issue is, and I'm not a lawyer, and I don't do real estate in your area. If the tenants want to get out and they're a bad tenant, that's almost to me a win for the landlord. Number one. Number two, in most places of the country, rentals are hard to come by. And so you might have a month or so of vacancy. However, in the long run, they may be better off to get rid of somebody who's unhappy or doesn't want to be there, even if they have to fund it for a month or two, versus keeping them in a relationship that they're not unhappy with, particularly if they can quit paying and say it's because of COVID, and then they have no means of evicting. Anyone have any wisdom for Susan on this?
I'm actually going through this right now, an investment property that I personally own. If they want to leave, let them leave. It is a lot less expensive for them to go on their own free will than it is to engage an attorney.
Thank you for that. And thank you, Denny. I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's why I told my seller, it's better for them. And I told her it's blessing in disguise, particularly in California now. Right now she's pretty much on a string. If she doesn't have any income, she's host. So that's where my dilemma is.
Well, I tell you what, one thing you can do too, if they went out, if there is a lease, and ask them, okay, so here's the thing, we'll let you out within, as soon as we find another replacement of your somebody to take over the lease. However, in order for that to happen, you have to be cooperative and show the place. So you can start advertising, and maybe you can just have one person move out and one person move in, where she won't be out any vacancy. So let's move on. So
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, so the role play is I got an objection say I trust God. That's what I get. I trust God to tell me when to sell it. I'm like, what? That's my objection. I don't know how to handle that one.
Susan, when I woke up this morning, God spoke to me and asked me to call you today. What a coincidence.
Oh my God, I love that. That is a very good one. I think I just didn't know how to handle that when God told me not to sell with God. I'm like, what? Thanks.
Okay, well, all right. So let me role play this because again, just from my point of view, the whole purpose of the listing interview is not to list the property; it's to help them make the best decision for them.
Right.
And if they choose, and if God or Elvis or whoever says not to sell it, well, that's okay. That's okay. So if you're saying that, let me just follow the model. I'm just role play with you then, Susan. All right. So other than God saying, so you said God. All right. So rephrase the objection. What is your objection?
No, I'm taking my house on the market. I'll let God dictates and tell me what to do. That was it. I was like, oh,
Okay. So let me understand. So we're on the market now, and you feel like God is telling you to take it off the market.
yes, if that's what God's telling me.
Okay. Then I wouldn't forget the model. Other than that, and I'm going to close on the motivation. Other than that, has anything else changed your reason for selling?
Well, we didn't have any office.
I
That's
understand,
because,
but you said you wanted to move to Salt Lake. And so let me just back up. And did you feel like, because if you're a person of faith, I respect that. Do you feel the Lord was, and I'm using Lord, I shouldn't use that because you said God. Did God wanted you to move to Salt Lake?
no. I just,
Okay, so you feel that God is telling you to stay put.
yeah.
And so you no longer want to move to Salt Lake to be with your family.
Well, my house in South, so that's God's telling me that I need to stay.
Okay, so for me, if I lay the motivation down and the motivation is not there for them to sell,
Yeah.
anything I do to push them, if they don't have motivation, I define as pressure. I am not a pressure person. My goal is not to get a listing. My goal, I don't need that listing to survive. Anybody else have any comment on that?
Susan, why do you as an agent think it didn't sell?
Well, no one came through. I don't know.
No, I'm out of role play, but as an agent, do you think that it was a price issue?
I think it's actually price, honestly.
So Denny, could there be some conversation like, well,
So
you
I
know,
think, so I asked, I just went through my opening script and she go, my house, it's not the market. God is telling me not to sell because he didn't. I'm like, God, well, we're not selling the house now. That was it. I was like, okay, I'm not going to push this. I didn't know how to respond back with God because that was like this morning. Something that was really weird.
Well, that's why I really think that the conversation, Louise, goes back to if God is selling you not to sell. Well, the selling, you were selling because of the motivation. You wanted to move to Salt Lake. So do you think God is telling you not to move to Salt Lake? If she said, no, I really think I'm supposed to be going there, then, okay, so then if God, all right, so then I'd go back to is the fact, okay, so God maybe wants you to keep the house and move to Salt Lake. I'm going to go back to the motivation. However, what I'm saying is that if the motivation crumbles,
Yeah.
and there's no motivation. Like if my tooth doesn't hurt anymore, I'm not going to the dentist just to say hello.
Right. Understand. I'll work on that. I'll have to work on that. Thank you. It just stumped me.
Well,
Thank you.
let's have some fun, Louise. And so we've got, and again, go ahead and change your name because I don't have everyone's name memorized. If your name is coming up Sherry, I'm going to call on Sherry, and 15 people are going to say what? So get your cameras on. So we've got Matt on, and Matt, are you ready for a role play?
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, you, Matt.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Matt is a member in our team. Louise, you're sorry about the background noise. It's an airport. I'm going to mute after this. Louise, you are a seller at the table. He's practicing to be a listing agent. Give him an objection. Go.
and do we know the motivation and the timeline? Like, can we just skip, like, identify that?
You set it up. Yeah, so you are the seller. You set up your
Okay.
motivation and timeline.
So my motivation, Matt, just so you know, is to move into a different school district by the end of this year for my children. Okay.
Great. Yep. Thank
So
you.
we're at the table.
We're at the table. And we just did a walkthrough. So Louise, thank you so much for that walkthrough. Your house is beautiful.
Thanks.
Can you remind me again, why you're looking at potentially selling?
Yes, we would like to be in a different school district for our children.
Okay, perfect. Well, now that I understand that, are there any questions that you have for me?
How are you going to get this sold and why should we hire you versus the other two agents we've interviewed?
Okay, so you interviewed 2 other agents. Let me ask you a couple questions real quick. Luis, are those agents part of a team?
No, they're solo agents.
They're solo agents, you said?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah, and I'd love to take you through some of the reasons why the Denny Grimes team is fantastic and what we can offer you. Is that okay?
Please do.
Perfect. So were there any other questions besides that? Why our team?
Nope.
Perfect. Well, first of all, Luis, I want to just thank you again for letting me come on with you. I'm sorry, letting me walk through your house with you. I'm sorry, guys, I am driving right now, so I'm a little bit distracted. So wanted to
Hang
go ahead
on,
and
Matt.
just give you. Go
Hang
for it,
on.
Denny.
Okay, so yeah, I understand you're distracted. So what we don't want to do is, all right, so we don't. It's kind of like you're trying to sell her on the special, the meatloaf special on the menu. So you guys, what you want to do is, why do you ask what they're hungry for? So go. Let's just go back and I'll help you out here as long as the background noise isn't too bad for you. So
Okay, great.
Luis,
So Luis,
no, Matt,
what,
Matt, no,
sorry,
Matt.
go for it.
hang on.
Go for it.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna demonstrate it for you. So Louise,
Yes.
so what was your objection again?
Why should we hire you versus the other two agents that we've interviewed? And
So
you're
you've
the
already
team and
okay.
the other two agents are solo agents.
Okay, I got that. So you've already interviewed 2 agents, right?
Mhm.
And let me ask you a question. Why didn't you hire one of those?
Because we're making a decision after we interview all of the agents.
Okay. And so of the 2, was there one that stood out over the other?
Yeah, one of them, if we were to make a decision based on the 2 that we interviewed, we would have chosen agent B over agent A.
So in essence, I'm competing against one other agent, not 2, correct?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. So let me, when you set up the interviews, did you have a list of criteria you were going to use to pick your agent? You see what I'm doing, you guys? I'm not going to start throwing a bunch of stuff up against the wall and why we're this, why we're that, why we're that. That's called throwing, just throwing something against the wall to see what sticks. I'm digging to find out what are hot buttons. So did you sounds like you're pretty methodical in this. So did you have a list of criteria, Louise?
Not necessarily a written list of criteria. We are looking for an experienced agent who has a proven track record.
Okay. All right. So I want to make sure I cover everything in the presentation. So you mentioned 2 things you want me to talk about: my track record and experience. What else? What else is important to you? I'm asking her what she's hungry for, guys. I'm the server. I'm not selling meatloaf. What are you hungry for? So what else besides experience and track record?
Hi, can I interrupt?
Who is that?
Jose
Jose?
Escobar. Hi, I'm with the Enlighten Realty Group in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so back to the original question. It was the school district. So I feel like just guiding towards that, it would just be mostly like follow-up questions as far as like role play. So I'd ask what kind of school would you like your children to be in? What kind of education? Stuff gearing towards education.
See, I
That's
think you
basically
would lose me, Jose, because I already know I'm moving there. I just don't know which agent is going to get me there.
Yeah, you might have missed the first part of that, Jose, that she's moving from one school district to the other. She's trying to decide what agent she wants to use to sell her house. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, I'll take a step back. I'll just keep listening.
No. So all right. So just give me a second. I love you. I love you participating. We'll let you step back in. Again. Sorry about that. So All right. So Louise, other than experience and track record, what else was it that interests you in your selection of your agent?
Well, but all of the agents came from reputable, well-known companies. So it really just comes down to the agent and how we feel we'll work together.
Okay. So are you saying then if I have a more experience and a better track record than the other agent that you like the best, are you prepared to move forward with me today?
I think that would move you to the top of the list, and my husband and I would have a conversation at the conclusion of the meeting and make a final decision.
Okay. And do you mind if I am present for that conversation?
So I would mind, because we would, when we make big decisions, we have a conversation one-on-one with each other, and then we make a decision together. We
Okay.
would feel pressured if someone were there hovering over us as we make a decision.
Totally understand. So let's talk about the first one. You said experience. Now, are you talking about number of years in the business or experience in the number of transactions?
Both.
Okay. So, I don't know. So I'll just say, okay, so I'm not going to use me because I could probably have more than most people. I have 4 years in the business. My team has been around for the last 14 years. Now, on the scale of experience, as far as time goes, how does that rank?
That the 14 years is longer than the other agent.
Okay. And let me ask you then the number of transactions. If somebody were in business for I won't go down that path because I'm already winning on time. So we sell somewhere between 25 and 50 homes a year. I'm just going to say we sell somewhere between 25 and 50 homes a year. Where does that place us in the level of production?
Well, that's higher than a solo agent because you have more people on your team.
Okay.
So I guess if you had an average listing per agent, what are your specific number of listings in the past year?
Well, we have all of our listings are team listings, so we work together as a team. So it's kind of like saying if there's several doctors in a practice, how many patients you're seeing? Well, the combined practice sees anywhere from 25 to 50 transactions a year. So let me ask you, what type of guarantees do they give you? So again, I want to make sure, I'm a little bit distracted here as well, Matt, because I'm in an airport, is that when you make a statement, make sure you then take control of the conversation and take it the direction you want. What did I do? I asked a question. What type of guarantees did the other agent offer? Notice I didn't say other agents because I'm only competing against one.
We haven't gotten any guarantees from other agents.
Well, it sounds like I'm winning on transactions and experience. However, that's probably not the major reason why you should hire us. Would you like to know what is?
Yes.
Our guarantees. And guarantees, number one, we guarantee you're going to be happy. Because if you're not, our listing is only 7 days. And if you're unhappy, you can fire us. How do you like that flexibility?
Well, that takes off some pressure for sure.
We also most likely have the guaranteed lowest commission rate. Our commission is 2% or 6%.
You have the lowest fee? You have the lowest fee?
Lowest fee, 2% or 6%. 2% if you find a
the
buyer or
lowest
buyer finds
fee?
you.
You have a variable fee? Like, are we supposed to say percents?
Yeah, it's 2% or 6%.
Okay.
So if you find a buyer finds you, you're going to be able to put the extra 4% in your pocket. How does that compare with the other agent?
That sounds really attractive.
So far I'm winning on 4 fronts. Is that enough? Do you want me to keep going? So anyway, that's where I'm going to be taking the conversation. I should be able to drive that 16-inch nail all the way into the board with about 3 more pounds. Any feedback on that from anybody?
I actually have I would have taken a different approach. I would have said, well, I don't know what I'm comparing to between the 2 agents. I don't know what are the bases that I'm comparing to. And then you let them answer, well, they did this. And I guess that's my defense mechanism, is to handle those objections individually.
And then the only other objection that I'm familiar or that comes to the top of my mind for an agent on a team versus a solo agent is the experience that we'll have. Will we be lost with the crowd if there's a team handling a lot of transactions, or would we have the custom experience? But I think you've addressed it with your guarantee, right? If you're not happy with this.
Well, sure. And if you use a doctor's example, it said like, I mean, you're just from the premise. If you walk into the doctor's office and they have a receptionist and they have a nurse and they have somebody helping them, do you think you're going to get better medical attention because the doctor can focus on what you're hiring the doctor to do? I mean, if you had to have the doctor check you in, run your insurance card, and then go back and see you in the room, that wouldn't be very efficient at all, would it?
No.
So I'm going to board here in about 5 minutes. Louise, you are our host, and so I will text you in case when I close my computer, if you guys log off, you'll be able to log back in, I think, I trust. Yeah, and Louise, you can land the plane, no pun intended. Thanks for being on, you guys. And Jose, come off camera, come on camera and role play with us, okay? I love your interaction. There you go. All right, I'll turn it over to you, Louise.
Thanks.
Thanks, Denny.
Has her hand up.
Yeah, I don't have anything in particular. I was just raising my hand to participate in whatever.
Okay.
I have a few minutes before I have to get back to the wedding party.
So what are you focusing on for Legion? Buyer consultations? Are you making any sphere of influence calls?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of database calls and reaching out to our warm leads in our buyer database.
Okay, so what would you like to make one of those calls?
Okay.
Like would you like to make a warm lead call or a call of someone you're just touching base with to circle back on?
Probably touching base with someone in my database because I'm not always great at that.
Okay, so this is someone that you're not looking to sell or buy, you're just touching base, you're continuing the relationship after the transaction. Okay. All right. Would you like to Jose? Jose, would you like to hop back in and be a former client, a past client of Arne?
I am actually just starting here with the Keller Williams, so
I've only been
calls. Yeah,
No,
I'm
this
not
would be great. You're the receiver. You're on the receiving end. She's the agent calling you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, just pretend I was your realtor.
Okay.
I sold you your house. Okay,
Hi.
ring ring.
Hello.
Hey Jose, it's Arne with Keller Williams and the Brankus team. How's everything going?
Great. How have you been?
Fantastic. Hey, I'm calling because I wanted to share some information with you, but I wanted to know how's everything in the new house? You guys all settled in and everything good?
Well, I know we went through the inspection and everything, but we came up with some issues. They're minor, but yeah, I would like maybe like some money back. How could I go about that?
Well, that is something we could definitely, yeah.
Can I just paint the picture a little bit clearer for Jose? I may not have been so clear. I'm sorry about that. So Jose, you've already bought the property, you've closed, and this is what a good agent will do, like Arne, she'll call you to see how you've settled in and just she's staying in touch with you. So you've already closed. Is that right? Was that right, Arne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you go about that if you did have issues where your client says, we went through the inspection and we found a major leak that we didn't run into
Well,
at first?
I did a 1 month or 2 month follow-up with a buyer a few months ago, and they were like, they brought this up. They said, we know we went through all of this during the transaction, but we're finding all this extra stuff, and it's really just, it's getting super frustrating, and what do we do? So this kind of ties back in. So Jose, so part of the reason I was calling you is because I'm putting a directory together of for my past clients, future clients, and friends and family. And I'm trying to find people who give 5-star service. So have you worked with anyone lately in the past 30 days, maybe, that gave you 5-star service that I could recommend?
No, I haven't reached out to anyone, so I'm glad you called. But yeah, that
Okay.
would be amazing. A directory. Is
Yeah.
there any?
So
Oh,
So when
yeah.
I
Sorry.
put this together, I'm definitely going to send you a copy, and we can have another conversation later on and get more in depth about what you're looking for. And I can get you in contact with somebody that I know will definitely give you 5-star service. Would that work for you?
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like a big relief for me.
Awesome, awesome. So other than that, how's everything else with the house and the family, all settled in and things generally good?
Yeah, we can say, what if it's like an investment property? What if we want to move on to the next one? We really liked your service. You closed very quickly. You went through everything very seamlessly. So yeah, we're ready for our next property. We want to look into something new, maybe like a multifamily.
Well, great. Then, why don't you stop by my office Wednesday at 1, and we'll sit down and talk about your next one.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So until then, give your family my regards, and I will see you next Wednesday at 1.
All right. Yeah. I would have probably went into like, what are you looking for? Where are you looking for? It's kind of stuff like that. Is there any specific place you want? Like, I don't know. I'm always very
I
like, I try
personally
to
save
capture
that.
the people.
Yeah, I personally save all that for the appointment because I need to be able to have at least 30 conversations in 3 hours. So to be able to do that, I need to save all of the details for the appointments and then
Okay,
just
yeah,
keep
that makes
filling my
sense.
calendar with appointments.
That's a good point. Yeah, okay. That's good.
And that's why
So,
we nurture, right? Because you've had a successful transaction with them. You're able to
Keep
put up a buyer with a home, and now they're thinking of you. You're top of mind for future business. That's why we nurture.
so I literally just learned that conversation that I used like 5 minutes ago. Like, can you critique me on how I did? Like, did I pull it together? And
I liked it. I thought you were going to reference a vendor list, right?
yeah,
And so you talked about creating a vendor list. So I think it could go either way. And then I wondered if I thought you might have mentioned a home warranty that may have conveyed with the sale of the home, but I don't think that it did.
that's true. I didn't even bring that up.
Arne, is that from Bold? The conversation you're using? Okay, yeah, I
Yep.
just learned one too. I think you did a great job of saying, you want to get it for your past clients, your future clients, and your friends and family. I love that. That's a nice little asterisk onto it. So great job, and I love the
Thank you.
fact that you're saying you're offering it to him as well. So great job. That was awesome. Of
Thank you.
course.
Arne, I think you did a great job, especially considering that you learned this 5 minutes ago. If I was on the other side of the phone or the table with you, I would have felt like you cared and that you were genuine. My feedback for you is at the end when you told him that you've got to make 30 conversations in X amount of time. That's a very reasonable excuse or rationale. However, that's about you. I would love if you can explore some ways where you can show him how giving those details at a later time is beneficial to him.
Okay.
Were you
All right.
saying
Yeah, I was
So,
kind
outside
of
of role
speaking
play though?
super like off topic. Sorry, that was kind of my fault too.
Were you
well,
saying that
no. I mean,
outside of
that's
role play, Arne? Or like you wouldn't have said that to a client or anyone in your
Yeah,
database,
I
right?
wouldn't have said that to my
what
realtor.
I
I was
wouldn't have
just
said. What?
Yeah.
that you have to
Uh,
make 30 conversations in an hour. I think she was.
No, I
talking
wouldn't say that to a
but-
client. I would never
Yeah.
say that to
Okay.
someone on the phone.
Okay.
If they ask, yeah, God, no. Oh, no.
She was just explaining, I think she was explaining to Jose the reason she
Yeah.
asked more questions on the call.
Got
But
it. Okay.
sometimes people ask me, they're like, why can't you just give me the information right now on the phone? And I'll let them know, like, sometimes when we sit down face to face, we have better conversations and we ask better questions. And it'll also give me a chance to do a little more research, to have some information with me on whatever it is we're talking about, so I can, bring some information to the conversation with better details. I can give you some info now, but I don't want to leave you with a half-baked idea. I'd rather schedule some time for us to sit down face to face, or maybe on the phone, have a phone conversation if you can't come in, and talk about, what other options there are for you for this situation. But I would never tell a client, like,
What your
yeah,
plan is.
I've got to
Yeah.
call together 30 other people. So you got to make this quick, bro.
yeah.
Hey, Matt, since you're not driving, would you like to have a role play with one of these people as the consumer? And
I'd love
Isa
to.
would like to participate too. Why don't you two go back and forth? One of you
Sounds
be
good.
the agent, one of you be the consumer, and then switch it.
Okay.
And first,
I'll
before
be
we
the
start,
I'll be the
and then-
consumer.
okay, and in the interest of time, Matt, can you just say at the beginning, before you hop into role play, what is your motivation and what is your timeline?
Perfect. Yep. So my role play is, my objection is going to be interest rates. Because am I a seller or buyer?
I want to call it
Decide now.
expired, so you'll be a seller.
Okay. So we decided not to sell because the interest rates are high. Okay, because
Okay.
then we have to buy again.
And what
Because
is
you
your
have to do what?
motivation for selling and what is your timeline?
Well, it was originally we were going to move toward my grandkids.
And-
Okay. Okay, so ring ring.
Hey, this is Matt.
Hey Matt, this is Isom Chappelle. I represent a team of local realtors, and I saw that your property on 123 Main Street came off the market. I was simply curious as to when you're going to put that back on.
Hey, Isom. I appreciate the phone call. I've been getting a lot of phone calls lately. Just to be brief with you, though, I don't know if we are going to.
Okay. I respect that. What, if you don't mind me asking, what made you want to put the home on the market in the first place?
I really wanted to move our family toward the grandkids. So we're gonna go up to Tennessee.
Okay. Was there any other reasons that you and your family wanted to move outside of wanting to be with your grandkids?
It'd be nice to have a little bit of extra money. We could downsize.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, I saw that you were on the market for looks like 5 months. Did your realtor tell you exactly why you weren't able to get any solid offers?
We pulled it off. We let it expire.
Okay.
And I don't know the answer to that, but we're not sure if right now is the best time for us to sell because interest rates are so high. We have to buy again.
Okay. So it sounds like to me that you wanted to move because you want to be in Tennessee, you want to be with your grandkids, but right now the interest rates and the market is preventing you from doing that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. So if you don't mind me asking, how old are your grandkids?
I don't see why that really matters, but they are 2 and 6.
Okay. So they're still young. And obviously, it's important for you to be with your grandkids. Are you, going to let this hold you back?
Realistically, my wife and I aren't sure that this is the best time for us to sell. So I don't know if you could change the interest rates for us, but it's
Okay.
not realistic right now.
Okay. And if we were able to get you your property sold in, let's say, 30 days or less, and you were able to get, you know, the true value for your property. The only thing that would be holding you back is the interest rates for a mortgage in Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know, there's a lot of people buying properties left and right. I think that what you can do is, now let me pause for a second. You know, I'm gonna need some feedback or some help on the interest rate objection. I haven't gotten that one too often. So I'd love for somebody
If
to be
I
able
was
to.
you, if I was
Yeah.
you, I'd break it down to the ridiculous. You know, that's what John
Okay.
and Denny do a really good job of.
Isolate it. For
Yeah,
first
isolate it.
isolate the objection, make sure there are no more.
He did that.
Okay.
Okay.
But I would say break it down to the daily if you can.
Okay.
Does that make
So,
sense?
so you're talking about daily, like how much a new interest rate would cost on a daily basis?
Here, I'll help you ice them. So let's
Okay.
say the difference in the house payment that he will have is $400 a month. You would reduce that to how much the difference is per day. So 400
Got it.
divided by 30,
Okay.
and talk to him from the smaller number.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's breaking it down to the ridiculous. So it's $13 a day. You're really going to let $13 a day keep you away from spending time with your grandkids.
Love it. Okay.
Could you also speak about products and all of the lenders that you work with? The Fannie Mae thing, they're reducing the down payment costs up to 5% for multifamily homes and stuff like that. And then they also have like the buyback and refinancing, stuff like that. Like just bring up different options for them in the future versus
If I was interested in multifamily, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And also different products that other banks have, like for conventional loans and stuff like that. Like the buyback. I think it's 2 buyback. I'm not sure exactly what it was. It was on a different Zoom call, but there's different products for sure. Or even refinancing, just bringing that up. Like it's something that can be done in the future if they can handle that at this time.
Okay. Okay. So Matt, let's go back to the last time that you gave me the interest rate objection. Would you give that to me one more time, please?
Yeah, the interest rates are just really high right now, Isom. And so I'm not sure that this is the best time for us to sell because we have to buy.
Okay. Well, you said that you're not sure, so I would like to just offer you a little bit of clarity and then have you give me your feedback. Let's say that your interest rate costs you an extra $400 a month. And I know that number seems large, but when I break it down into 30 days in a month, that's an additional $13 per day. Do you think for $13 per day, it's worth moving and being with your young grandkids?
I mean, man, when you say it like that, I don't want to let one Starbucks drink keep me from seeing them.
Awesome. I like that.
You gotta land the plane, buddy.
Okay. So yeah, no, I totally agree. Oftentimes when we're able to have a new perspective on things, it allows us to have more clarity and more options going forward. So what I would like to do, Matt, since you see that it's just one extra Starbucks drink per day, preventing you from being with your grandkids, I'd like to have one of my top realtors come by your property sometime this week at a time that works for you, and share our plan for selling your property in the next 30 days for its true value. This way you and your family can move to Tennessee and be with your grandkids. I've got some availability this Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Questions. Ask questions. I'm sorry. Like you talked for a long.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, Matt would love to be able to sit down and share our strategy on how we can sell your property. Do you have some availability this Friday?
Yeah, I can do Friday at 2.
Okay, perfect. So we'll see you this Friday at 2 p.m. at your property.
That sounds amazing. Thanks, Isom. Have a good day.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Matt, was your personality a D?
Yeah.
I could tell.
What's a D?
A direct personality. Like when you asked for the ages of his kids, he said that I don't see how that really matters.
Mhm.
He didn't want to go into the details. He just wanted to go straight to the entree, forget the appetizer.
Okay.
Isom, far as the DISC personality goes, you
Yeah.
can look that up. It's DISC, and it goes
Okay.
from like to basically very direct leader type people to people who talk a lot or people
Okay.
who have focus on the numbers.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Isom, I
Yes.
liked the beginning of your sentences. I believe it was, may I, you had a repeat phrase that you used at the beginning, and I've heard it with other agents who call expireds. It was, do you remember what it was? Do you remember, Matt? What
I don't. Sorry.
what did you say? Like,
Do you mind repeating?
mind-
Great.
yeah, it was something like that.
I'm
So-
not tracking. So you're saying the way that I
It was,
asked
do you
the
mind if I
questions?
ask you a question? Yeah, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Exactly.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you were asking for permission, to
Thank
gather
you.
more
All right, cool.
information. Thank
So
you.
one of the things I also thought was a little odd for me is I
Mhm.
felt like you had just had this conversation with me and then you were going to hand me to one of your team.
Okay.
And I wasn't important to you all of a sudden.
Okay. So creating a bridge saying, listen, I set meetings for a team of local realtors. I've got an expert in your area named Don. Would love to be able to set you up with Don, and Don will be able to give you all of the details. Something around those lines. Is that a little bit stronger?
I wouldn't like that personally.
Okay.
I don't feel like I'm being handed off. Like
Okay.
if Don was to call me, then and I'm sure you do this all the time, so I'm not sure
Mhm.
how to back on that.
Yeah.
If someone were to call me and they said that, because I picked up on that too at the end, I didn't
Okay.
feel
Cared
um,
for.
Mm.
yeah.
Okay.
I felt like I was just a routine call, like
Mhm.
one of the top agents. I thought that was
Yeah. So one of the things that bothered me with that is that you had been asking me about my grandkids, the ages of my grandkids, like getting to know me, my personality, everything like that. And then you were like,
Mhm.
"That's great information. I'll tell it all to Don, and he'll take care of you."
Okay.
Louise, what do you think on that?
I'm curious to know, Isom, do you know the agents that you're calling and setting appointments for now, or do you just collect
Yes.
information and pass? Okay. So with that, instead of saying one of our top agents, and I would say,
Okay.
oh, I've enjoyed this conversation with you, Matt. What's going to happen next is Susan is going to give you a call to confirm the appointment, and she'll meet you on Friday at 4. Susan is
Okay.
one of our top agents. You're going to love her.
Okay.
Would that sound more special?
Yeah, that's really, really good, and it shows that you care about me, and that you want to not hand me off, but you want to set me up for success the best way you know how.
So I wanted
Okay.
prefacing it with what's going to happen next.
I like that.
Yes, and don't say one of our top agents.
Okay.
What's going to happen next is Z, one of the best agents that I know, is going to give you a call and confirm that appointment for Friday at 2.
Okay. Yeah.
And then one of the other things, you were telling him instead of asking for permission, right?
Okay.
And I think it had to do with you were bringing it down to the ridiculous, which we don't say to them. We know it internally, but what we would say to the consumer is, we're looking at it from a daily rate. So what I would like to do, Isom, hey, Isom, $400 a day is a lot. May I share with you what that looks like on a daily basis? And then
Okay.
I wait for you to give me permission before I go on.
Okay. I didn't want to do that this time because I felt like I already did that maybe 3 or 4 times.
Well,
But do
maybe
you
not
think
with,
it's
maybe not with that,
Mhm.
the dollars, but with other
Yeah.
things. Because
Okay.
at some point it sounded like you were talking more than listening because you were not asking the questions at that point in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Isom, I think the biggest thing that I've learned from all of these role plays is that questions are gold. Questions are
Yeah.
gold, and they help you to control the conversation.
Copy that. Okay.
May I explain, Isom?
Yeah, yes, I
That's
like
it.
that.
No, that's exactly something
Okay.
that I would say.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. And if there's no more feedback, I'd love to know, how do you guys feel about the sound of my voice, the tonality, my tempo?
I like it. I like it
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
All right.
It's very
That's-
relaxing.
Part of why I didn't like being passed off, because I liked you.
Got it.
And like, I want to work with this dude,
Hmm.
not some Joe Schmo.
Okay. I see that.
And
So
you
I
sound
think,
confident too.
sorry,
Thank
so I
you.
think sandwiching it with the way that Louise said it is,
Mhm.
Susan's going to be out there. She's incredible. You're going to love her. She actually
Mhm.
trained.
And Anna
Awesome.
Kruger teaches us when we take one of her classes, like mega lead conversion, what's going to happen next, or this is the next step.
Like that. All righty. That was gold, y'all. Thank you.
Oh, you're
Thank you.
welcome. So Matt, would you like to be the agent and call Susan? Susan, would you like to be the consumer?
Absolutely.
And what if it's going to be an expired or a FISBO? Can you tell us what your objection will be up front? And if it's going to be someone that you're currently working with, can you tell us what the timeline, the motivation, and the objection will be?
Who is the agent? Matt is the agent, he's telling me, right?
So Matt, who would you like to call?
What kind of
And what
person?
is the scenario in the call?
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to Susan. Yeah, no. So let's do a listing. And they are not listed yet, but they want to list, and they have motivation that I'm going to find out during the call.
Okay. Do you
Cool.
know where they are going at all?
I'm
Or-
sorry.
Do you know them? Is this someone you know or you don't know?
I don't know them.
So it's-
Okay, so this is a not met.
Okay.
So, okay.
Ring ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this Susan?
Yes.
Are you the owner of 123 Main Street?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, hey.
Who's this?
Yep, of course. Yeah, my name is Matt Oberski. I'm part of the Denny Grimes team down here in Southwest Florida, and I actually was just driving by your house and wanted to talk to you a little bit. It's beautiful. You have a beautiful home.
Oh, okay. So what do you want to talk to me about?
Yeah, of course. So, have you noticed that some houses in your neighborhood have sold recently? Some of your neighbors?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Well, I was just curious if you have thought at all about moving.
Well, I know my best friend Dan and Ann, they're moving, and the other one over there, John, they sold their home. Yeah, so we're thinking about it. The neighborhood is turning, and I'm probably thinking about downsizing.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So do you know where you would want to move to?
I don't know. Maybe towards I don't know. Maybe just downsize your condo.
Okay, yeah. Would you be moving more towards family or for some other reason?
No, my kids come down from New York, so maybe just downsizing to a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo.
Okay, yeah. Yep, of course. Yeah, I see here on your I see here online that you have 4-bedroom, 3-bath. So downsizing right now can make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it was your friends who just sold recently. Um, I'm just curious. I'm assuming you've been in their homes before.
Of course, many times.
What is the quality of your home versus their home?
Oh, it's a nice castle that we have here.
I'm sorry.
It's a really nice castle. Everything is update, and we keep our house very clean.
Well, I noticed that from the street, like I said, but I was just curious. The indoor, I can't see the inside. So, hey, just curious, Susan. Is there any way that I can sit down with you sometime a little bit later this week? I'd love to tell you how we can get you that downsize and get you the money that you deserve for your home, and make you guys happy.
I don't know. I mean, we're thinking about it, but I probably gonna use the agent that Dan and Ann use.
Okay. And did you use them for your current purchase, current home that you live in?
No, I've been here since 30 years, so it's time to probably downsize.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely. Well, if you're ready to downsize, I think this is a great time for that, honestly. Would love to just have the ability to come and chat with you about it. Could sometime a little bit later this week work for you? I know you said maybe someone else, but
Well, Louise Weiss has sold Dan and Ann, so I'm probably gonna use her as an agent.
okay. And I know that agent. She is a great agent. But she what do you know about her? What do you know about her practice?
What do you mean she got my best friend's house sold?
Yeah, and she took care of them. Well,
Okay,
I would love
can we go off script a little bit?
go, please.
I don't know how long I feel like I'm being inquisitive.
Sorry
So
about that.
there's the LP Mama, I don't know if you know about that. You really want to know, okay, location, like I said, I don't know, but it's one downsize. You want to talk about time frame. Hey, what's the time frame? You're just asking me questions for the sake of asking questions. You need to ask me, where am I going? How I can help you? And when I'm trying to give you side objection, like Louise, you say, oh, don't talk bad about another. Oh yeah, I think I heard of Louise. Aside from Louise, I mean, like, have you thought about interviewing some other agents?
Okay.
Don't go down the rabbit hole in negativity, because that's where I'm trying to drive you, and you try not to go there.
Okay.
And just really, when you just ask a question, I feel like, oh my God, get to the point. Like, if I'm a high D, I'm like, get to the point. But I'm role playing with you because I really need you to understand the type of questions that we're going to ask.
Mhm.
So I wrote down a couple of questions that I always ask, like, tell me more about that. So easy. Tell me more about why you think of downsizing.
Mhm.
Should
And I
we
said to
switch
you that the
on the
neighborhood.
last-
Yeah, let's
Would-
switch it. Perfect.
Would you like to be the agent, Susan, and Matt be the
Yeah, I'd love to watch you go.
Matt caller?
Okay. Okay. Ring ring.
Hello, this is Matt.
Hey Matt, it's Susan. How are you? I know I'm calling you out the blue. Your couple of your neighbors' home has sold. I'm just wondering, who would you know that may be thinking about moving?
Actually my wife and I have been thinking about that recently.
Oh, great. I mean, tell me more about that. What's prompting you to move?
I just know that we've been here for 7 years, and I'm told that we have some equity in it.
Oh, okay. So you're looking to move because of equity. Aside from that, what's prompting you to think about that?
I think a new place would just be nice.
Okay. What's the new place look like to you, and where will you be going?
How about Tennessee? We love the mountains and we love all the greenery up there.
Oh wow, that's exciting. And because of that, is it something that you're thinking of often? Like maybe hiking or walking, changing
We
lifestyle?
yeah, we do like hiking. There's not really a lot of elevation changes here in Florida.
Cool, that's nice. Well, do you have a time frame in mind?
Well, we're just talking about it right now, so no time frame.
Oh, okay. You know what, Matt, obviously you guys are thinking about it, and I would love to go over what the market is dictating and what type of equity that you have, and perhaps maybe you could share with me your loan amount so I could show you what really is happening. Would it make sense for us to meet over a cup of coffee between, 10 minutes or so? So that way you and your husband can decide, and rather than hearing from one side of the story, you guys both get the information directly from me. Does that work for you?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so how is nights and weekends better for you, or is afternoon better?
Well, I actually have some time tonight or tomorrow night.
Okay, thank you. I close.
Great job, great job. We have 1 minute left.
So how did I went to the location, I went through the timeline, I went through the price, right? Not the price, but the motivation.
Mhm.
And I asked you for your
Can you
mortgage
explain
amount.
what LT Mama stands for?
location, timeline, price, motivation, agency, I don't use that much, mortgage, and book an appointment.
Okay. Yeah, no, I thought you did a great job. Your questions were leading, and you were patient with me.
Thank
Could you repeat the abbreviation? Sorry
I'm
for the
putting it
location.
in here. There it is. It's
Oh, perfect.
location, price, motivation, agency, mortgage, and appointment.
So, what do you guys think, the audience? I mean, where can,
So, real quick,
Yeah.
I like your inquisitive nature. And it's cool that you're using the acronym to guide your questions, and you affirm, your affirmations are really good, right? They're moving to the mountains. Oh, that sounds great. Sounds exciting. And then when Matt said where he was going, in my mind, I heard like other agents saying, what takes you there? I even heard Anna Kruger, what takes you there? Right? But instead you led. Oh, are you going for the hiking? Are you going for this? Are you going for that? I think, what takes you there, Susan? Right? To dive in with that. And both of you, Matt and Susan, both of you said when you were role playing, you asked, or you said, I would love to. I don't think that anyone we talk to cares about what we love. It's more like, what's important to you about this, right? It's when we say we love, it's about us. When we ask what's important to you, or would that be helpful to you? Could this possibly benefit you? It's about them.
I like that. Would it be beneficial if we meet over a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then Susan, you asked someone that you've never met before what their loan amount was. I gasped.
Hey,
I was like, yeah, I would shut that down so fast. I'm not gonna, I don't even have a loan amount. My house is paid off, but I would find that to be a very personal question for someone to ask that I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah, I
guess-
was a little off, but I just walked past it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. See, I'm still learning because
We
I
all
do
are.
this, but I don't know until someone tells me, hey, you know what, you would shut that down because I look, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up, because no one told me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
used to using the LP Mama when for buyers and for open houses. I haven't used it for outgoing calls. I can see that you're adapting it for that, so that's cool. And it's great to have a roadmap. And I could hear it as you were asking the questions.
Mhm.
Here's a question. Z, I don't know if you can participate. Are you able to talk, Z? Maybe not.
No,
So
not really.
Okay, so here's a question that Z and I know very well. It's been ingrained in us. And this is the question. Susan and Matt, what are you looking for in the agent that you hire? Like, that's just the question, right? We look them, and this kind of goes back, I think, to what Denny was saying. Like, what are you looking for in the agent? Instead of guessing.
Yeah.
You came into the restaurant, what are you looking for? Soup, salad, entree?
That's a great question.
Let them tell us. Thanks, guys.
So you're
This is
saying
great,
that
y'all.
that question, put it on them.
It's not even putting it on them. It's just instead of us leading them, Susan, like Susan, let me guess. They're overall, globally, there are two principal ways you can approach it. You can like guess what they're going to do, or you can try to extract it from them, right? We can get it from them voluntarily, or we can get it by being inquisitive. And I feel I'm not explaining this well. But at the end of the day, is it better for me to try to guess, Susan, what your plans are for the weekend? Or is it better for me to just come out and say, hey, Susan, what are you doing for the weekend?
Right.
Like,
Got it.
Susan, you're in California. Are you going to go to the beach? Are you going to go to the mountains? Are you going to go downtown? Instead of, hey, Susan, what are your plans for the weekend? So what are you
Yeah,
looking
that's
for?
gonna come in handy.
Yeah. What's the expectation of the agent that you're looking for?
No, it's literally as simple as, what are you looking for in the agent you hire? What are the criteria that you're looking for in the agent you hire?
Got it. Okay, I never asked that question, but I will be.
Yeah, it's super helpful because basically more times than not, they'll just say to you, "Oh, I'm looking for X, Y, and Z." So then you can just shorten your presentation by addressing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.